Welcome to the tutorial. I'm going to be going through how we complete our Andy Warhol inspired portraits, which we're going to do in Photoshop, which is the first part of the assessment task in term 2. So here are some examples of Andy Warhol's actual works to give you some inspiration. So we can see with his style he uses very bright, bold, unrealistic colours. On sections of the face you can see the Queen has green eyebrows. Okay, different colour eyes, different colour hair, and some added decorations over the top used with line. And in terms of the faces, they're very contrasty, which means a lot of blacks, a lot of whites, and not too much in between. So there's some examples there. Now your teacher would have either taken a picture or asked you to bring a photo in. So we're going to locate that file on our computers. Okay, here's my one of Justin Bieber. I'm going to right click on this file and say open with Photoshop, so this should open up Photoshop. Now yours might look a little bit different to mine depending on the version of Photoshop that you have. Okay, our file's now open and we can see over in the layers palette we've got one layer here which is locked. Now we want to work with this, so we're going to unlock this layer. To do so, we double click on our layer and we press OK. You'll see that little lock's disappeared over here. Now it's good practice to duplicate our layer at this stage, so we have one for safekeeping which will turn off. So what I'm going to do is right click on our layer in the layers palette and duplicate the layer. There's some shortcuts and you might be aware of some shortcuts in order to do this. Press OK and you can see we've got two layers. So I'm just going to turn this bottom layer off and have that for safekeeping, and I'm going to work on this top layer. The first step I'm going to do is delete our background because we want to fill it with a nice colourful colour later on in the tutorial. So what I'm going to do is use my magic wand, which is over here in the tool palette. Now if for some reason you can't see your magic wand and it's hiding, you need to remember there's a little arrow underneath each tool that if you click and hold you'll be able to access tools that are hidden underneath that tool. So we want to use our magic wand. Okay, I'm going to select my background. Now it's being a little bit too fussy. This is called tolerance. What it normally is set at, and which I suggest you leave it to unless you need to, is 32. Okay, and you can see that's made a good selection of my background. Okay, the lower the tolerance, the fussier it's going to be. The higher the tolerance, the least fussy it's going to be. So I'm just going to press delete at this stage, and you can see that my background's been deleted. As we know that crisscross in the background means it's transparent. I'm going to deselect to deselect those marching ants, so Control D to deselect. Okay, now we've got our background which we're going to fill in later. The next step is to desaturate, which means we're going to turn the image into black and white. In order to do this, anything to do with colour, tone is up in the image adjustment menu. So image, adjustments, and we're going to go down to desaturate. Okay, now we've got a black and white image.